should recycle, and I bet there might be a thing or two that we probably shouldn't recycle.
Correct. Yes.
So tell us about either. You can start with either one.
Okay. All right. So we'll just tantalizing. This is the good stuff. And over here is the stuff that should never go in your recycling cart. Like this, not acceptable. People are so confused about this. Not acceptable. Styrofoam, never acceptable. These are great. We get millions of these. Not acceptable for recycling, though. And you know about this one, right?
Yes. And no pizza boxes.
Right. And why?
Because they have grease in them and it messes it up.
That's exactly right. And then of course, okay, not recyclable, and the worst thing of all, plastic bags. Because they gum up the works at the recycling facility. They just wrap around. They the rollers where the materials go along, they have to shut down the plant. They have to dig them out. Really, really bad. Are they recyclable? Yes. Bring them back to your grocery store. Bring them back. Every big box store, there's lots of good places that you can bring these back to. But do not put them in your blue cart.
But you can put them in the green cart.
Oh, green cart. Absolutely. Okay. Yes.
So here's some things that are commonly used and are recyclable.
Right. Okay. So bottles. Bottles are great. Bottles are great for recycling. Glass bottles. I didn't have a glass bottle. I had a glass jar. That's good for recycling too. These are great. Bottles, cans, steel cans, aluminum cans. Wonderful for
tuna
recycling.
Fish cans.
Yes, but if you don't mind cleaning them out, that would be really good. But they are cans and they are good for recycling. Paper, all kinds of paper, regular writing paper, newspaper, even tissue boxes. This is like kind of a cardboardy material. That's good. The same as cereal boxes. Great for recycling. And magazines. And we want to remind you to flatten your cardboard, because if you take a big box, we've talked about this. So you take your big box and you cram it into your blue cart. And so then they go to empty the cart and the truck comes along, grabs the cart, picks it up. But the little indentation the holder makes keeps everything, that big box, nothing behind the box goes out. So make sure you flatten your cardboard. And cartons. Milk and juice cartons. Do you know they are actually high-grade paper, and it's covered by a thin plastic cover, which comes off in the hydropulping process. Wow. So totally great for recycling.
Let's talk about cardboard box, because everybody gets them. Certainly significantly more than, let's say, 5 years ago.
Oh, yes.
So there must be a huge market now from the recycling end of people wanting this cardboard, because they're going to make it into what, other
new cardboard. Yeah. So yes. And I don't know what the rate is right now, but cardboard has been pretty sturdy as far as being a commodity that's recyclable and desirable.
And to Amazon's credit, you can let them know, I'll take a box that's already been used by somebody else.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So we get boxes in. I didn't order that. And then I realized that inside is the stuff that we ordered.
You did order. Isn't that interesting?
Yes. And make sure you check inside all your boxes, because the second thing you were looking for is inside there.
That's great.
So as far as some of these boxes can get pretty big, and they're pretty sturdy. So maybe you have the kids over, the grandkids over, and say, why don't you squish them up for grandpa?
That is a great idea. Not only are they doing something great for society and their grandfather, but that's good. It has to be flattened.
So one of the things that conspicuously absent are chemicals.
Yes.
Such as insecticides, oil, gasoline, grease.
Paint.
Yes.
So we have 2 home chemical collection centers. One is in the north. It's on 58th Street, and I don't know the number off the top of the address, but it's on our website, www.miamidade.gov/solid waste. And they are open Wednesday to Sunday, 9 to 5. So the whole weekend they're open, and you can bring paint, chemicals, all the stuff in your garage that's liquid that you're not sure what it is. Bring it there.
So we all figured out why we have years and years of these in our garages and in our warehouses, because we're never quite sure what to do. So at some point when it gets like too much, right? I think here at our building we probably have paint from 20 years ago that's still sitting in the back.
Really?
With each subsequent paint job, we keep a gallon or 5
gallons. Because you got to touch it up. I know. It's true.
So let's talk about when you pick up in the blue cart,
Yes, our recycling. Yes.
recycling cart. You take it to where it gets picked up every 2 weeks, right?
Yes, every other
And
week.
and the
Right.
date depends on where you're located,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
How many how many homes do you service?
Over
I
350,000.
know it's just
It's unbelievable. I know.
you know, and representing several million people,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
it's a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And the green cans get picked up every 2 weeks. I mean, twice a
every
week.
other week. I mean, twice a week. Yes. Yes. Blue every other, green every.
So during the month, you're liable to get 8, 9, 10 pickups of.
Yeah, we
trash.
visit you 10 times a month, possibly.
I know, it's just incredible. So they pick up the they pick up the recycling things, they take it to, where does it go to?
Okay, so it eventually goes to a materials recovery facility, but that plant is in Broward County. So it's run by one of our contractors, Waste Management. So they have 2 transfer stations in Dade County because, if the trucks have to leave the route and go all the way up to Broward, that's not good. So there's 2 transfer stations. They dump the materials there. There's one in the far south and one kind of mid county. And then those materials are put into tractor trailers, and the tractor trailers drive up to Broward, and they dump the materials at the materials recovery facility, right on a big tipping floor.
And then, okay, so there's all this stuff. You got orange juice bottles,
Yes.
you got milk cans, you got soda cans, you got plastic water bottles, and they're all on the floor.
Right, along with some other crazy things like baby clothes, maybe bricks. I mean, like just crazy things you wouldn't believe are in the recycling cart.
Is this a moving floor?
No, the first place where the material is dumped is just a solid cement floor. Then a front loader comes, scoops it up, puts it on a conveyor belt, and it heads into the plant. And so the very first part of that is very exciting because there's no mechanical sorting there. There are people there right at the very beginning to pull off all the crazy stuff that's on the
The
cart.
eye-hand coordination must be so intense for people to be able to do that.
Yes, because it's not slow. It's pretty quick. Although going in, it's slower than later
So
on.
when they take stuff off,
Mhm.
stuff that's not to be recycled, does that go into one container, or do they?
There's bunches of containers right behind them because
and they just throw it over.
yeah, right. And then there's more separation to come because after it gets through that first initial crazy thing to make sure there's no bicycles or just whatever kind of crazy thing could be in there, the rest of the sorting, a lot of it is mechanical, and so there's electronic eyes that can figure out the glass and the different things. Well, cans, of course, are made out of ferrous, so they're magnetic. So a magnet pulls them out. 1, 2, 3. And then I always love the aluminum cans. Really cool because it's kind of like a magnet, but it's the opposite.
It pushes it out.
Right. Instead of sucking it in, it pushes it away.
So the device that picks up the can, and it moves it off.
Yeah, it just it's a magnet, so it just brings it like that, and then it goes into another container.
That's manually controlled.
The magnet is automatic, but but at
but
some
they gotta-
point, there's
Wow.
I know there's people there because the plastics not as easy as the other stuff. There's actual people do most of the plastic sorting.
So the plastic one-use water bottles over here, right? That gets. What do they do? What does the recycling do with that? And how long does it take before it gets back on the market?
The plastic bottles, okay. So the clear is separated from the color. So like these are both plastics, but they're different kinds of plastics. So this will go in one thing, these will go in the other. They end up getting baled, which is, it goes into something that looks like a great big trash masher and makes a big, big brick that weighs a ton or half a ton, whatever. And those are shipped out to companies that make new things out of them. So most of the bottles end up becoming new bottles. The aluminum cans definitely become aluminum cans. This is the stuff that comes back really fast.
So we know in 20 years they went from really stable cans to, to much thinner.
Right. Sure.
And they get recycled pretty fast.
Yeah. What was it? It's like 4 weeks, something like that. It's back. It's back with the liquid in it that you like to drink.
If you didn't believe in
Right.
think about this guy here. Might be back 3 or 4 times.
Could be, absolutely.
So and again, since shopping and buying has changed so much, there's so many of these products. Cardboard is a perfect example of because there's so much, it's causing people that used to make newsprint to
Mm-hmm.
making cardboard boxes.
Oh,
Those are unintended consequences. But
right.
if you have a manufacturing plant,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? You're going to do stuff that sells.
Right. Right.
So with these non-cyclable items,
Okay. Yeah.
what has to be done so either the manufacturer changes the way that product is made, or
Mhm.
to find somebody that can use that stuff and make it into something?
I understand what you're saying. And I always say this too. That's not my area of expertise, but a lot of it depends on the cost. Okay. So sometimes one-use plastic, this is probably a lot less expensive to make than this. And maybe the different items that are put in it, I'm not sure, but I will research this for the next
Because
time we talk.
we get a lot of we get a lot of those. We get a lot of fruit and
Mhm.
things like that.
Right.
in
The little
those.
baskets.
And then
Yeah.
whenever we go to Chinese food, we get that.
Yeah. Right.
But if the people that are selling the products have a product that we could all use again,
Right.
then what a great coalition of ideas that could be to be able to
Absolutely.
say, let's make this stuff, all right, so
Mhm.
that we can do something other than to burn it,
Right. Right.
Burn it or bury it.
Or bury it. Yeah. And my guess is it's less expensive to make this kind of container than this kind of container. However, if they can make this so it is recyclable, and you pay a little bit more, but it keeps coming back around, somehow there's a savings, I would think, somewhere.
So maybe when whatever the world is going through right now,
Yeah,
when it
right.
gets a little
Whatever
bit
this
worse,
is. Yes.
then maybe there'll be some brilliant minds out there to say, let's work together with the distributors,
Right.
the manufacturers, all right, and the recyclers, so that we can make stuff that's more than just being burnt.
More than single use.
Yes. Now, all burnt stuff is not as most burnt things is put to good use. So tell us about that.
Okay, yes. So the materials that are actually in your garbage can, including your, banana peels and all kinds of things that are not recyclable, end up at our waste to energy plant, where
Waste to energy.
waste to energy.
That's the name of it.
Yes, yes, and that's where the materials are burned to produce steam. The steam generates electricity. The electricity runs the plant, and also there's enough that's generated that it goes into the grid and it's sold off, and it can power like 35,000
City
homes.
Homestead, I think, is a recipient of that.
Yes.
Now it's going to start doing that. Plant is going to also start powering up something new. So tell us about that.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. Here we go, folks. You heard it here first.
Oh yes. Okay. How much trouble could I get in? No, we have an electric truck.
Praise the Lord. Okay,
It's an
way to go.
electric garbage truck. So it's
An electric garbage truck.
Right.
Who would ever thunk?
I know. And so it's going to go to your house and empty your garbage and fill up empty garbage cans. And then it's going to go to the waste to energy plant, where it will dump the garbage material, which will go through the process of being burned to produce steam, which will generate the electricity, where the truck can plug in and get recharged.
How much better can it get?
I don't know.
It's really thrilling to see that to watch that whole thing work.
Yeah.
So somebody, when all this stuff gets burnt, it's going to produce energy for that plant, for
Right.
35,000 homes, and for trucks.
Yes.
So the county's going to make an announcement, I guess, pretty soon. I don't know
Yes.
if it's this month or next month.
Soon.
And there'll be a ribbon cutting,
Yeah.
and maybe Madam Mayor jump up in that truck and move it a foot or two.
I would love to see her. I don't know if she gets her CDL, we will really be able to use her.
Speaking of that, quite occasionally the county's looking for people to work at the recycling plants, right? And as drivers.
Oh yeah, drivers. Yes, we definitely to drive the trucks to the recycling, to the waste energy and so forth. Yeah.
The minimum is they have to have a commercial driver's license.
You have to have a
That's the
CDL.
beginning of
The
that.
starting point. Yeah.
And they should go to Miami-Dade.gov, got jobs, I assume.
Yes, please do. Absolutely. Yes.
And so I occasionally I watch these trucks do their work.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed. I'm like a little kid.
I
Look
know.
at that. They go down the street, they pick up the stuff, They have a joystick, and they have cameras and mirrors.
There's all kinds. You can see, I mean, the newer trucks, you can see what's going in the truck, which is really good to know, because sometimes people put crazy things that should never be in there.
Yeah, no paint, please.
No paint. Yes, correct. And yeah, so they can see what's happening there. And you know, it's not like the old days where you're just driving a truck. There's all kinds of things going on. You have to really, you know, be on top of it.
And from what I've learned over the past year, approximately 500 to 600 cans can go into green cans can go into each truck, and then they take it and they offload it and go back and do their route of about 1,000 homes. Frank,
Yeah.
did I get that right?
That's
Where are you,
good.
Frank? I think I got it right. He'll straighten me out.
That's right. He'll call you later.
So if people want to find out a little bit more about the recycling program, what can they do?
Well, you can always go to miamidade.gov/solid waste, and then go to our recycling page, and there's all kinds of information. We even have videos. It's really neat. We have videos for everything, but we have 2 videos on how the separation happens at the plant. We have a video on how the waste to energy plant works. I believe we have a video of the truck picking up garbage. I mean, we've got a lot of great stuff.
I still have an orange helmet.
You
My
do?
wife, yes, thank you. My wife says, "What's that for?" I said, "I went on a video tour."
That's right. You have your vest too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
It's amazing. So we know that marketers that sell products want to catch purchasers at a very young age, so it lasts a whole lifetime, right? So how do we catch our young people so that they can start recycling at a very young age?
Wow. Well, I hope they're listening now. No, but you know what? It's kind of like teaching please and thank you. I mean, you know, you want to talk to kids at the very beginning, and you got to recycle in your home. You got to recycle right in your own house so that your kids see you recycling correctly. And yeah,
that's the biggest thing and the children can certainly remind the parents.
Oh, yes, they are great at that.
Years ago, when my 35-year-old daughter was about this big, she says, "Daddy, you know, if you hit me, I'm going to call the police."
Oh, yes, excellent.
And I go, "Where'd you learn at school?" I said, Good. Because that's how they can learn that stuff.
Right.
And it was open enough to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And so it is with recycling. And maybe next year or the year after, maybe some of the local schools can be the recipient of you going to some of the classrooms and talking about this.
That would be great.
So sometimes people think that recycling is throwing stuff out their window.
Oh my gosh. No. That is definitely not recycling. That is littering. That is a crime.
And then some people dump stuff out of their cars and trucks.
Yes.
So there are measures that the county and the police take and try to catch these guys. Can you share with?
Yeah, and again, that's not really my area, but I mean, it's so exciting. I mean, we monitor areas. Illegal dumping is really illegal, means it's a crime, and illegal dumping is a crime, and it's a crime against a lot of things. I mean, not only are you are putting stuff on the ground that probably shouldn't be there. Might have you're not paying for proper disposal. Someone has to go and clean that up, which is an extra charge, and it's terrible for everyone.
And the police and code enforcement frequently get involved to see if they can track it down.
Oh, right? Yes.
And from what I understand, there is a command center for code enforcement. They have cameras, hidden cameras, especially where you think it's safe to dump.
Yeah.
Right? And they can watch it.
Right.
And not too long ago, they saw it. In the act, they sent code enforcement and some police. They arrested the guy.
Yes.
Right. So when you think you're going to get away with it, you're not. Right?
Not.
And especially down in unincorporated Homestead.
Oh, yeah.
People dump stuff on the side of the road.
Right.
So often that is on private property.
Yeah.
And you're burdening the property owner with that expense.
Right.
Otherwise, the expense gets distributed to all of the taxpayers.
Right, you and me, we're paying for somebody. Yes, exactly.
And so I hope whoever's dumping, especially on 118th Avenue in Horse Country, stop doing that, please.
Right now.
Yeah, because you're going to get caught.
Yep,
right?
yep.
And please don't chase the people as I did once.
Oh, yeah,
right?
no, right. No,
right?
Do not do that.
All right. You just, and the world will be a better place when we stop flicking stuff out the window and when you think it's okay. And one of the great things we can do with those plastic bags,
yes,
you put it right in your car.
Yep.
Have things, you dump your stuff in there, and then you can take that and put it into your green can.
Your garbage can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not the blue one.
No, because people don't realize. I mean, stuff you and I have talked about this before. I go insane when I'm like in a grocery store going back to my car and I see a mask on the ground. And it's like, it just makes me crazy because when it rains, that stuff ends up in our stormwater, and from the stormwater it goes into the bay, and so now you're causing problems with our marine life.
And so I think that part of it, when we can get this better global or community picture,
Mhm.
right, that if we each do our part, all right, that it just gets so much simpler.
What a concept.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of we have a really neat life cycle of animals on our property.
Yeah.
And we realize that some of them, all right, eat the leftovers from some of the other animals.
Uh-huh.
And then the hawks will eat the rats, and the hawks will eat the other
The
stuff.
circle of life.
Yes. And it's like pretty nifty.
Yeah.
And when the ostrich came over, not ostrich, peacock came over, I said, you need to go back home,
Yes.
because I don't want you on my roof. Right? But there's that circle of life thing. So when somebody dumps something onto one, like a cigarette butt,
Yeah.
right, especially during the dry season,
Oh.
right, and it starts this little fire, which can be a big fire,
Right.
and it's really bad example for our young people to think that it's okay.
It's
to do
not.
that.
And look at the wildlife that are affected by that. I
Yes.
mean, that's their house.
Yes.
Basically, you're burning down their house.
Yes. So we're going to wrap up here in just a
No,
moment.
really? Okay.
So again, people have cardboard, dry cardboard, put into the blue cart. all right?
Yes.
Squish it in there, but don't make it so tight that when they bang on it up in the thing, that it won't fall out. right?
Correct.
If there's certain things that we know that we can put in the recycling. What are the main things that people can do without even thinking about it?
Bottles,
Bottles,
cans.
cans, Coke cans, cans with food in them, you can put in there. The single-use plastic, you can put it right in there. Please don't squish them all the way down. But
Right. Not like a hockey puck, but okay like that.
milk,
Yes.
milk,
Yes. Cartons,
juice,
orange milk. Yes.
old
Uh-huh.
newspapers.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Right.
We love newspapers.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
And magazines, put it all in there,
I
and
was
it's
gonna
going to
say.
get recycled.
Yep. Absolutely.
And all the other stuff, folks, it's going to get fired up. All right?
Yeah. Become
The-
electricity.
it creates energy, going to gas up our trucks.
Our trucks.
And 90% of the products that are burnt disappear, and it's 10% residue, which are then
Something like that. Yes.
which are
Yeah.
then buried somewhere.
Right. Well, there's a monofill for one thing,
Yes.
ash, and so yes, that's the residue from that.
Great.
Yeah.
And so far we've lucked out with the hurricane season, but
Oh
all
yeah.
right, I know this is our biggest month. Actually,
Right.
it's coming up the next 2 weeks. So
yeah.
we have our fingers crossed.
All of them.
Yes.
It's hard to walk. My toes too are crossed on this.
Yes. Jeanmarie Massa, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And we're over here with the red camera,
Okay.
Folks. If you need more information, go to
Right.
miamidade.gov/solid waste.
Yes.
All right. You can dial 311. They can help you out if you need some help. They'll be
Absolutely.
glad to do that. Again, our guest today is Jeanmarie Massa. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.